12%. Other than that, that's about it. You do too much. Then you're going to tell them exactly. That means that you can count on something, right? This is so critical. This is America's future, right? This is America's future. And remember, you're not going to have, you didn't heard of the Thucydides trap and all of that. You're going to have to deal with China. You're going to have to deal with, okay, you're going to have your hands full. So therefore, you have to. Well, Obama said it, he would always say, we're still number one. You ain't no number one. Here's how you can be number one. I'm telling you, hey, you can't be number one in production. That's gone. You can't be number one even in engineering. You can't become number one in building beautiful cities that cooperate with each other. But here's what you can be number one in. You can be number one in New Worldism. It's like the job we take. Nobody wants that. Right? You can be number one in climate. Cleaning up the oceans. You can be number one in that. Because ain't nobody, you want to be number one? You want to be bad? Do it at the time that history is begging you to do it. History is saying, hey man, telling the world, y'all mess with me, the earth is saying, the earth is a living organism. You see how it's acting already. What the hell, what is wrong with y'all? This is what I'm thinking. Louisiana then had 10, what they call them, tornado hurricanes. 6 of them have come within 15 miles of right straight at, I would have to move out of Lake Charles. I would be gone. I would never even visit again. Right? They come, they said, look like it's going, oh my goodness, I think it's going to hit the same spot. And it hit, 15 miles away from the last place. Hey man, I am not going to California until maybe the rainy season comes. It'll come in November and December. Put out them fires, clean up the air. I'm just not going. I want to go. I ain't going. I don't want to be sitting up there coughing. I'm 75 years old. I don't have no pre-existing nothing. I don't want to create a pre-existence. Something, lung control, something like that. Right? From all that smoke. And some of that smoke burns near chemicals and other things, not only forests. And that stuff get in your lungs and you'd be there. But anyway, we really live in a unique period. And we're optimistic about the human being, no doubt. But the human being challenges your optimism to the limit. He be squeezed. You think you optimistic about us? And then they drive by throwing beer cans on the lawn and stuff. See how much optimism you got there. They drive back and spray paint your house. And you still got to be optimistic about the human being. And then you can hear on all these, see, you're going to do it alone. You're not going to do nothing alone. They're trying to prepare you to be arrogant. I'm going to do this all by myself. You don't see them saying they want your vote. They want everything. They already know that all alone stuff, you can go so far and that's it. If you're going to do big stuff, important stuff, if you're going to involve the world, you have to really move. Now the world is moving in that direction. The people know this can't go on. I'm telling you, I watched Governor Musa out in California 3 weeks ago. One of them fires was so bad, he was almost crying. I don't know if y'all said, you got to see now that you climate deniers, you know what I mean? The man is a governor of a state, but he was, if you would have tickled him, he'd have started crying, because he was that, no, he was like, helpless, man. Hey, man. And see, you got to go to some of these areas where it's tornadoes, where a farmer been praying for rain, and it ain't no rain. And each day, it just goes lower and lower. Or go in another area where they got beautiful crops, and here comes the storm, like up in Iowa, not long ago. Tornadoes blowing through that, blow all the corn down just before it gets right. It just happened.
Yeah, man.
You know, I mean, and the farmer been praying, oh man, this is the year we're gonna get out of debt, we're gonna pay off this, and that comes. See, you would have to be, a feeling of, this helps in a lot of ways. You have to have a feeling of helplessness sometimes to put all of your faith in Allah. So this is beyond me. And you have to know that. You can talk all the trash you want, but you have to know this is beyond, what's happening. And, we seek in hidayah, aid, assistance, direction, everything. Because you look at the world, and technically it don't look too good. It don't look too good. And the people won't do nothing. They won't do nothing. That's, like I'm talking to y'all out there, all you big shots and whistleblowers. Whistleblowing was nice 50 years ago, 10 years ago. Whistleblowing ain't going, you're going to have to join with the people. And I mean, very soon, next week, day after tomorrow, anything like that is fine. Because we have to deal with this system. Those creatures that work with Don, I don't care. Don don't care nothing about you. Don got the whole, every general in the army is in hiding, trying to hide from Don, because Don gave the other generals all that. They don't even want to. Don then gave his staff. Don then just infected everybody.
Super spreader.
Super spreader. That's what the Dr. Fauci, another super. And he ain't even look. That's what I like about it. You think about slow down, we say it every week, slow down, dangerous curve. No, indeed. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Slow down on the curve, dangerous curve, 20 miles an hour. Let's hit, I believe we can hit it 120, not no 20. And Don gonna take a chance. Don, well, he gonna have you take a chance. He gonna send you in your vehicle. Don ain't going, because Don is selfish. He even tells white people, your son died for this SHIT for
what?
What did he get?
Right.
What do you guys get for that? General Kelly was standing, he's standing at the graveside, right? He said, what'd your son get for that, man? Good God Almighty. The thing is, them old generals stay in a little shape. I'm surprised Don, I don't think Don, he'd be eating them Big Macs and stuff and laying up watching TV. I'm surprised if one of them haven't dropped him, just gutted it. Bam, bam. Right? Because of the way he talked.
Right.
And everybody that went over his side, now, for the world, they figure that's good. We're going to have a big vote. Everybody's going to vote for whatever his name is. And that's what we want people to do. But America will still be weak. You got all these, I just like to call the making fun of Negroes when they call. Y'all remember that dance, the Boogaloo? There's a dance called the Negro, the Boogaloo. You remember that?
Really?
There really was a dance called the Boogaloo?
They
There
call
was a dance called the Boogaloo.
What?
But when I looked it up, where they got the name from, they got it from
Mad
this hip
Dog
hop
Boogaloo.
movie.
Mad Dog
Remember, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what.
Mad Dog Boogaloo. Mad Dog Boogaloo.
Why?
Remember that one? Yeah.
Why?
No, I just say, look, it don't make no difference where I was just teasing my family. I said, you hear what the Boogaloo boys said? You know, look, you couldn't make this, let's call it crap. You couldn't make it up. I swear I can't sleep sometime. Because I said, let me turn the radio, let me kick out sleep with the radio. Let me hear just one more line. You know, one more line, and it's just like a dope addict. Just one, you what? One more line, I'm going to sleep, and you just there all night. And it's time for Fajr finally, and since it's 4 o'clock, I'm gonna get me at least an hour, 2 hours sleep. I got to. Because, you know, it's ridiculous. And the whole family, they said, isn't it something how white people talk to each other, how they say things? I said, yeah, boy. And they be phrasing things, and then they be deadpan, and, you know, like saying something that's so funny, it's not funny at all. You know what I mean? And then it's super funny because they're serious about it. And we just watch the dialogue and keep notes, you know what I mean? But, dear people, this is the meantime. I'm gonna come back Tuesday and re-explain this, because these things have so many twists and turns that if you don't, you may think that we meant just this or just that. No, we mean that they want, the Zionists want America to be big but weak, like a milk cow, like something domesticated. At the same time, they had to have a person to help produce that. So in Donald Trump, they got a guy that got a nice daughter. Kushner can marry her. They could say he's not anti-Jewish, right? But the money, he owed money to the Jews. It could get confusing. You have groups that hate Israelis types. All the militia and all them, that's all they're talking. But they're supporting Don.
Right, yeah, I thought about that as well.
No, that's funny, they down with Don.
Yeah.
Don is from the rich class and don't care nothing about none of it.
Right, yeah.
It could get confusing because the people look at it, they think the people up in Detroit, wherever they are up there, you know, Michigan, those people are anti-government, malicious, you know. And those people that come out with torches talking about Jews will not replace us are hired to do that. Just like many of the people we saw going, they're nice people. You can tell they don't have any, you can see some of the kids running. Hey, we better hurry up and get there, like they're going to a show or a happening like.
Yeah.
It's the thing that young kids do in 2020.
Yeah.
Were you there? And YouTube was there, not YouTube, but you somebody. Who they used to call them people? Not UFO. What do they call them young guys used to play the music? You something. YouTube, yeah, not YouTube, yeah, YouTube. And and all them type of people.
Right.
Was you there at the concert? I didn't make it. Oh, you missed it. Were you at Black Lives Matter? I missed that one. Oh man, the people were black and they were really black and they were dancing and they were white people there like us. And I saw you, some Latinos. Man, it was a happening. That's what people will be saying 10 years from now. That's why they're going, half of them was going there because of that. Because of how we ain't got nothing to do with get out of the house. Man, I would get out of the house. Where you going, boy? I'm going to the demonstration. Well, you better cover your face up. Right? And then every fire that they had, the garbage cans, them boys was organized in New York. Burn this garbage can, jump on a bike and ride. They could run the police over here. Those people, and then these dumb guys say, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Now this is just a total disregard for black people. I mean, hey, it can't get any lower than it is now. All that marching, all that demonstrating they did, all them freedom rides, they better start them again. They better start all that all over because it ain't got us nowhere, right? I'm just saying that attitude. Anyway, the Quran, in many times, as other tafsir would say, it uses these allegories to discuss, certain things that are happening. And this one, when we decreed Solomon's death, it's not like some people say he's sitting on a throne and they didn't nobody, he stood there until the ant ate his thing and then he fell over. That's not probably what really happened. Of course, you would begin to smell and stuff like that and decay. You wouldn't be there long. But so it's an allegory. America fits all the allegories of those periods with some mixtures. We'll close with the desire to do good. We would really like to help the world. We just really would. There's no doubt about that. But we also know the hadith that if you do a good thing, you can make it 2 rewards of 2,000. You don't know. But if you want to do good, your niyyah is to do good, you get the reward. So the niyyah for doing good, we get that because that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. We believe this is that time in American history. There's some things that people have in them. America used to, in the early, end of the 1800s, they had a lot of immigration going. At this time, the Irish had already come. And some of the robber barons were Scottish and Irish and all. Then they had already become their robber barons, and a lot of other people was coming at that time to work in factories and what have you. They were mostly Italians at that time, from Italy, Lithuania, all Southern Europe. The first people come here were Northern Europeans, white folks like that. And the second big wave was Southern Europeans. Negroid, they'll call somebody from Sicily a nigger in a minute. Y'all just right across the water, man. Y'all just like northern niggas.
Right.
Yeah, they feel that way, you know, and they practiced it in America until maybe a generation ago. Because World War II, the big melting pot, where you from, Czechoslovakia, and this, that, and other. And Germans, in World War I, the Germans, so many of them was here in the Midwest that they could speak first-hand German with the Germans they was fighting. Because they spoke the same language anyway. The point is this: we have a great opportunity. And one of the things that was old Booker T. Washington says, while you're bringing immigrants here, Pleasant Burgers Fish, something like that, he said, while we followed you tearfully to the grave, you know, you're bringing immigrants over here to work. And we, Negroes, although you done treated us, you didn't put that in there, how you done treated us, we done followed you tearfully to the grave, crying more about you than about our own family. And you're going to bring somebody else over here to work, talking about Italians at that time. Well, I know different things happen at different times. I know, boss man, it's kind of hard for you to, and not that we're trying to make it easy either. I know we have certain attitudes right now. Those attitudes are because the time for playing is over. The time for playing with you, playing with anybody else is over. It just ain't working no more. You don't even feel like, well, I'm gonna wait these niggas out for another 10 years, they'll come around. Well, we don't actually have that. Nobody has any idea what the world's gonna look like in 10 years. You know why? Nobody's planning to, okay, we're gonna fix the air. If you had a plan, you could visualize, man, we could clean up 80% of the pollution in 10 years, right? If we used all the Army, all the Air Force, all the underwater submarines to rake up stuff, we could get this boy ready. I get scared of the numbers though. They talk about, well, there's so much that plastic degenerated, and every time I listen to the news, it's more. Oh, we're undercounted by 75%. It's more. It's 10 times. I said, good